everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today's just gonna be kind of like a chill video. It's just like a life update slash what I've currently been reading, because I haven't actually done a wrap up in like 3 months, I think, maybe 2 months. I didn't do a February wrap up. I didn't do a March wrap up. I might not do an April wrap up. So there you have it. I applied for school, so I'm applying to a library technician diploma. So it's a 2-year program, and it's essentially just studying libraries and library tech. So essentially what a library technician is they're one under a librarian in like the hierarchy of the library, I guess. And they're basically just assistants. And so they do like cataloging for books. They do returns for books and stuff like that. And I'm actually really excited. Ever since I knew that this program was a thing, I've been trying to apply, and it's taken me 3 years to apply. So I dropped out of school in 2016. So the end of 2016, I dropped out of school. I was admitted to hospital for my eating disorder in October, and in November I dropped out and didn't go back to school. So I was doing a women and gender studies degree, but I just felt like there wasn't enough material in the university that I was going to. And so it just kind of made class a little bit boring for me, because I wanted to delve into more like theorizing and like applying feminism to your everyday life. And it was honestly a lot of history classes. And whilst I know that's important, I kind of wanted more. And also my mental health was crap. So I ended up having like a 1.8 GPA. And for most programs in Canada, at least in Alberta, I don't know what it is for different provinces, you need to have a 2.0 in order to be accepted into a program as a transfer student, I guess, or as a student who's already gone to post-secondary. And so I had to wait because the library tech program that I was applying for changed their requirements for post-secondary students who had already gone to post-secondary. And so you needed a grade point average of 2.0 for your last like 20 classes in order to be accepted, or last 20 credits. And I didn't have that. And so in order to get accepted again into like any program, you needed to wait 3 years in order to be admitted again. And so I waited until this year and I got accepted. I just applied for all of my classes, and so I have my schedule for fall 2019 and winter 2020 all figured out. It's a program that has like allotted times for your specific classes, so I literally don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry about not getting into a class unless I want to get into like a pretty popular class for one of my electives. So it's pretty much laid out for me for the next 2 years, and I'm very excited. The only thing that I'm not excited about is that I have an 8 a.m. to 9:20 lab, so that's not fun. But it's fine, I can endure it for 1 year, it'll be okay. In terms of like other life things, I've just been kind of like dealing with the gender stuff. It's kind of uncomfortable for me to talk about. So I'm just gonna say that it's been very humbling seeing all of the support from my friends online and from people on Twitter. So thank you so much for being so supportive. It's been a wild ride, honestly. Like, I still misgender myself in my head, and it's just like, what is happening? Because I'll like misgender myself and then I'll be like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. And so it's just kind of awkward. And honestly, I think that it's just me trying to wrap my head around the fact that I don't use those pronouns anymore. Like, I don't use she, her anymore. It's just, it's a whole thing. And like, it comes with its ups and downs. Obviously I still present very femme, and this is the way that I look. I like the way that I look. I don't want to be more androgynous, and it just kind of sucks because I feel like if you're not more androgynous and you're not more masculine, you immediately get coded as she, her, and it just kind of sucks because that's not what I am. And obviously it's hard because it's kind of like you've been taught this certain way of thinking for your entire life, and now that you're trying to unlearn that, it's very hard for your brain to kind of wrap around it. And even for me, like I said, I still misgender myself, so it's just a whole thing. But honestly, I'm so glad that I figured it out. I'm so glad that I'm kind of like experimenting with it. Maybe I will want to be more androgynous in the future, but right now I'm happy being femme, so that's that. With that though, my mental health has been kind of bad lately. So I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety, and along with that, I've kind of talked about it a little bit on Twitter. I have PTSD, so there was an accident within the family in November, and I was kind of like put in like a caretaker position. I put myself there, I didn't like get put by other people there. And ever since that, since like January time, I've been dealing with like flashbacks on stuff that happened to not me, but to the other person who was actually in the accident. I've been dealing with flashbacks. I can't really go in the car without being super uncomfortable either. And it kind of sucks because I live in a place where cars are very heavily relied upon. The city that I live in is quite big. Alberta within itself is very car focused. We have a lot of rural communities, and it's like that throughout Canada, but I think especially in Alberta, it's kind of like that. So it's just a little bit hard. I've been working with a therapist. I've been back in therapy since the beginning of March, but it kind of sucks because I can't see my therapist as much as I would like. I only see her once or twice a month at most, and it just like, it's kind of shitty because I think that I need more support than that. So it's just, I don't know, it's just a whole thing. I've been dealing with like a lot of panic attacks, and like I feel like I'm depressed. I might need to go back on medication, but it's hard because I've been on over 20 meds throughout my entire life, and that might not seem a lot to some. I know that there are a lot of people who have been like on way more meds, but I find that if things don't work immediately being like the threshold within like the medication actually starting to work, like a month or so, I get very discouraged, and I don't want to constantly be changing it up, but I think I might have to just try. I do have a psychiatrist, so I might go and see them and see if there's any possible chance of me getting onto more medication. I don't know whether I need antidepressants or anti-anxiety. I might need both, but it's just something that I might have to think about more seriously within the near future, because I'm starting to see that my anxiety is affecting my life a little bit more. Yeah, that's kind of been what's going on in my life right now. Those topics I don't really talk about on camera a lot because it is very uncomfortable. But I have gotten a lot more comfortable with it lately. I think now that my channel is growing a lot, I feel like the more my channel grows, the more comfortable I get with recording videos and being able to make content that I wouldn't normally make. I originally started my YouTube channel because I had so much fear of public speaking. And so if you look back at my videos, I wouldn't recommend it, they're terrible. But if you look back on my older videos, they really convey how anxious I was in front of the camera. A lot of that has to do with like eating disorder things like body image and body dysmorphia and stuff like that. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm speaking to a larger audience. They might not be here, but they will see this, and it's public. It's on a public forum. So it's just kind of nerve-wracking a little bit. But yeah, I think that my channel is growing really well. I'm really proud of all of the content that I'm making. In terms of reading though, because I haven't done a wrap up in so long, I want to kind of like talk about my most recent faves. So like my 3 favorite books that I've read within like this last month or so. So let's get right into that. So the first book that I kind of want to mention is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. This is a contemporary. It reads like a mystery. It's like a contemporary / mystery mix, and it is so good. So this is essentially a Sherlock Holmes retelling, and it's kind of like Sherlock Holmes and Watson's ancestors in modern life in like a very posh prep school, and I just loved it so much. I had no idea what the mystery was about or anything like that when I went into it. I had no idea what the book was even about, and I just ended up loving it so much. I gave this a 4.5 or a 5 star. I don't really remember which one it was, but I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm reading The Last of August, which is the second book, very, very soon. So yes, I'm very excited about that. So that's the first book that I'm kind of like really loving. The second book was actually recommended by Riley Marie. I'll leave her link up here. She's an absolutely wonderful booktuber who really focuses on queer literature and FF literature. She also does a lot of weekly vlogs. Her vlogs are amazing. I recently read this book on her recommendation, and it is Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh. Wow, my camera does not like this book. So this is essentially a story about a necromancer who brings back her royalty from the dead, and there is a horde of like zombie-like creatures that are popping up all around the world, and she has to try and find out how to stop them. This was wonderful. It deals with a lot of topics like grief. It deals with losing a loved one and having to kind of situate your life around that and how to come back from that. And it focuses on an FF relationship, or at least the second half of the book does. And the relationship is so cute. I recently read the sequel to this as well, Song of the Dead, and that one focuses a lot more on the FF romance, but this also deals with like addiction and mental health, and it's wonderful. You can see I really liked it. I have all of these tabs here, and the second book is even worse. And the last book that I really enjoyed, and I have a review on it, is The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I will leave the link up here if you want to watch my review, but this is essentially a European rom-com where Magnus Bane and Alec Lightwood go around all of Europe on like a romantic vacation, and they end up finding out that Magnus has apparently created this cult called the Crimson Hand, and they have to find out why he's created this cult because Magnus doesn't remember anything. This was so cute. It focuses a lot on Alec and Magnus's relationship and how their relationship came to be, and it's just adorable. If you like queer romance novels, I would definitely recommend this because it has all of those really cute romance kind of tropes while still being like really action-packed and echoing kind of like the mood of The Mortal Instruments. This takes place at the same time that City of Fallen Angels takes place, which is the fourth book of the Mortal Instruments series. So you can read this before or after. I think that there are some tiny spoilers, but they won't make any sense unless you've read The Mortal Instruments already. So I don't think you really have to worry about spoilers. So I don't think that you have to wait to read this book. If you haven't read all of The Mortal Instruments yet, then I think it's fine to read this in order sort of thing. That's really all that's been going on with me, I guess. I don't know if anybody liked this video. I don't know if you like knowing about my life. If you do, cool. I'm kind of boring, so sorry. But that's really all I wanted to talk about, to be honest, because I don't really have anything else to talk about. Like, I work retail. Nothing exciting is going on in my life, really. Like, I don't have any trips planned. The only thing that I can think of is that I'm hosting like a readathon in May called Sailor Moonathon. I'm really excited about that. But other than that, I don't really have anything super huge planned. If you liked this video, then give it a thumbs up. As always, all of my social media links will be down in the description box below if you want to follow me on my Instagram or my Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.